And Mount Allison leads St. Francis Xavier 14-3. Play there also in the third quarter. Going straight is Andy Peterkin, who should have the first down. Bill Starr is our student announcer in the booth. And Bill, how much does Queens scare Bishops?
Well, I'd like to say that they don't, but we're still licking our wounds from last year's loss. We went down there and, you know, we beat them bad, but Queens is a competitive team. They're going to come in here and they're going to come hard.
And speaking of the OQ, McGill in action today, leading Carleton 17-0. So a McGill victory there would eliminate Concordia from the playoffs. Assuming Concordia goes on to lose, and down goes Andy Peterkin. Sacked by Eric Edwards, the outstanding linebacker who burst in unblocked. And Peterkin is dropped in his tracks.
And you know, Gord, it's awful tough to stop this when you don't have any backs in the backfield. You can see normally they used to have a back to take on Eric Edwards. No one there, and Edwards just slips through that gap. I mean, I'm impressed by the linebackers. Bishops have always had very good linebackers. Edwards really is a superb football player. Bench presses 450 pounds, one of the strongest players in the CIAU.
Second and a long way to go.
Get ready.
Peterkin rolls out, now under pressure. Peterkin will run, and finally forced out of bounds. Eric Edwards again there to make the stop. And Peterkin got not much. Our thanks to our student announcer, Bill Starr. Bill, we'll let you go back and enjoy the rest of the game, and good luck to the Bishops Gators this year.
Yeah, it's warm up here. I don't know. I want to get out in the rain, but thanks a lot, guys.
Sorry about that, partner, but thanks very much. Bill Starr, our student announcer today. And he'll go back down and cheer on his Bishops Gators, who lead 26-0. And on 3rd and 11, no surprise here, Concordia will gamble. Peterkin's under pressure again. Still can't find anyone to throw to, and Jamie, you've got to call that great coverage by the Bishops Gators, because Peterkin had nowhere to go, and John Gooby came up to make the stop. 5:39 to play the third quarter. It's Bishops 26, Concordia nothing.
My name is Denise Veneff. I'm from Montreal. All my life, I have fought against separatism. But now the separatists are trying to use you. They want you to vote no. They want to say, look at English Canada. They don't want us. Please, don't say no. Don't give them this chance. It's my country, too. Thank you.
They call them defensive secondary sacks, and the reason being no one open in the downfield. And Andy Peterkin forced out of bounds on 3rd down and 11. Ball turns over to the Bishops Gators.
You know what? That could be 1955, the way you look at it. These fellas getting down and dirty on defense. It's a first down for the Gators from their own 24-yard line. Bishops leading 26-0. Goes to Claude Surratt. He must have changed jerseys at the half, because he's got the only clean one out there. He's brought down to the play by Danny Lavallee.
Well, Concordia's defense continues to try and play tough. It's been the lack of any production from their offense that's really gotten Concordia in difficulty.
And again, trying to keep that football dry. Just hands to the center, who will try to keep it as dry as possible. On 2nd and 4. Murphy scrambles around. The elusive Jim Murphy gets it over the middle and complete to Masaki Kono. And this Jim Murphy, I'll tell you what, we talked about Peterkin's running ability. Jim Murphy's got wheels as well.
And I'll tell you what, was he rocked after he threw that pass. This is just, you can see the kind of footing that he has. Slides a little bit, but he keeps his head downfield, keeps his poise, finds Masaki Kono, and then I'll tell you what, Jim Murphy paid for it. Gaston Thibodeau came in and drilled him. See, Jim Murphy still looks a little bit tired from running around that much.
Careful, guys.
It was a gain of 16, giving Bishops a first down from the 44. Here's Claude Seren again, and he's got a first down across midfield into Concordia territory at the 53. He's tackled there by Mark Fortier.
This Concordia defense has to be dog-tired right now. I mean, they're chasing after Jim Murphy all the time. Now they're running the ball, and you can see what a nice job by Kai Bjorn and Joey Sabo on the right side of the offensive line to spring Claude Seren.
It's a first down from the 53-yard line for the Bishops Gators, who already lead this game 26-0. Throwing it high for Jonas Raymond, and Raymond has what should be another first down. It is a gain of 13 yards, and it'll be Bishops' first down at the 40-yard line as Gary Locke made the tackle. You have to think that Ian Breck will be a little concerned before this game because Bishops didn't have a lot to play for, but boy, are they clicking offensively.
No, they're really clicking right now, Gord. And one of the things that causes so many problems for all the teams they play is they have so many weapons. I mean, you look at them, they go to Masaki Kono, they go to Butler, and now they're going to Jonas Raymond.
On 1st and 10 from the 40 with 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
All in one ear.
Murphy over the top, but the pass is too far for Tom Hart.
Murphy's pass incomplete. Looking on the far sidelines for number 22.
Check that, make that Mike McCarthy, the money man. And this has to be of concern to Bishops. Jim Murphy, after being shaken up on that throw earlier, is still wincing. And we see his backup, Trevor Lovig, warming up on the sideline.
Now you might know of Trevor Lovig, played for the Edmonton Huskies.
Great junior program in northern Alberta. On 2nd and 10. Murphy scrambles away again, puts his head down, gets another 8. He'll be about 2 yards short of the first down, but Murphy not afraid to stick his head in there, even when his team leads 26-0.
And you know, I think this is the last we're going to see of Jim Murphy. This will be the last drive, and I think you won't see him for the rest of the day after they attempt this field goal.
Great protect.
Greg Hiscox will come on to attempt the field goal for the Bishops Gators.
And Ian Breck has to be a little bit concerned. It looks like he's holding his side a little bit, and that wasn't because of this play, I don't think. It was because of the hit earlier by Gaston Thibodeau, the play that he completed the pass downfield to Masaki Kono.
Go see them when you come back.
This field goal attempt will come from 39 yards.
Now, man. Good throw.
That was the distance of his first field goal.
One for Chase.
This to make it 29-0. Blocked. Spiros Ferraduras has it, up and running. Looking for some blocks. And he may score. But coming back to make the tackle, Mike McCarthy came all the way across the field, ran down Ferraduras from behind, but still Concordia gets a break. It'll be first down Stingers at the 38-yard line of Bishops. Is that the big play that Concordia needs to get back in the game?
Well, their defense has been doing all their plays today, intercepting the ball. You can see Luke Palan comes right up the middle. I mean, major seepage on the offensive line. Then Ferraduras does a nice job of making sure he gets around and picks the ball up. And you see Mike McCarthy coming in from the left-hand side, and he makes a tackle.
1st and 10 now from the 38, 1.5 to play here in the third quarter. Peterkin has time. Out in the flat, he was looking there for Michael Paul, but the pass was behind him.
I'd like to say hi to my dad and my mom.
Good for you.
Any more?
We need more of it.
It's a boy.
Hi, Mom. All right, the winning number.
Holding 61, Concordia, decline. Second down.
The holding call goes against Jay Allen.
2, 1.
And it is 2nd and 10 now for the Concordia Stingers from the 38.
Number again, 2, 1, 0, 1, 8. Please come up to the
2nd and 10 now for the Concordia Stingers, who are running out of time to get something going. And they give it inside.
22, Mike Paul, the ball
Michael Paul, the ball carrier, not even close to the first down. And that was kind of a strange call, Jim.
Yeah, I think it was a strange call. I mean, that's not going to buy it for you right now. You've got to put the ball in the air and get it down the field. But, I mean, they will go for it on 3rd down and 9. We'll take a look at Jim Murphy on the sidelines.
All right, Uncle Kevin.
Seems to be okay now.
He's been enough today to say hi to the whole family. 3rd down and 9. The flag is down. It'll be holding against Concordia. This gain to Eric McClellan will come back. It was an obvious call as dragged down to the play, I believe, was Danny Boeing, number 91.
Today's winner of the 50-50 draw, $147. Bill
And we'll get the call now from Ron Paluzzi.
Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket.
Holding, 44.
You wonder why Andy Peterkin has some time. It's because there is some holding. And what was a 1st down is called back, and they are now decided they're going to punt the ball away to Bishops.
Number 1, Paul Geary to punt.
Yeah, 3rd and about 19 is a long way to go. Although the fake might be in order here.
Kruzich, leg in Europe, back deep for the Gators.
We'll see if Pat Sheehan has any tricks up his sleeve. It's a direct snap, and now the throw. He's got a man open, but it's incomplete for Dio Mastrodomenico. The direct snap went to Marco Chamorro, so indeed the fake was on, but Chamorro threw it too far, intended for Dio Mastrodomenico. Concordia is stopped short. Bishop is still posting a shutout.
1st down, Gators on down from the Gator 46.
Does the sneezing that's keeping you up at night tell you your cough syrup isn't giving you all the relief you need? Does your cough and sore throat give you the feeling those cold pills aren't the answer either? Then it's time to try new NyQuil Liquid Caps, the nighttime liquid capsule that relieves sneezing, congestion, and adds the relief you expect of liquid medicines for coughs and painful sore throats. New NyQuil Liquid Caps, the new way to get nighttime relief.
Jim Murphy comes back into the football game. We're told he'll likely get one more series, and then he'll sit down and get ready for the playoffs. We know Ian Breck's team will play next week at home. And the clock has hit 0 in the 3rd quarter, and the referee will have to decide if that is indeed the end of the 3rd quarter. Ian Breck might have thought that was the end of the 3rd quarter, but we'll see one more play here, and then it'll be the 4th quarter, and Concordia hopes it's not the final quarter of the season, but right now it looks like it will be. Jamie, our first look at Bishops this year. You impressed?
Oh, very impressed by them. I think I've always expected Bishops to play very good offense, but what I'm really impressed with is their defense. I think they're really solid. We saw a great defensive team last week in St. Mary's as well, so.
On 1st and 10, the call goes to Claude Soren, and that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. Soren picked up a couple. The 4th quarter is coming up next, and soon these fans will be dry. We'll be back in just a moment.
Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice. Like the import-inspired Geo Metro, Geo Storm, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Check the map.
Cancel that order, guys.
Oh, right. Yeah. Let's see. You want a Coke? No, I'm making a Pepsi. Well, what's the diff? I can't believe you said that.
The difference is one tastes better.
This one.
You chose Pepsi.
The majority of soft drink users tested prefer the taste of Pepsi over Coke Classic.
You want sausage or pepperoni? What's the diff?
Wait! I'm having a snack attack!
Captain Nibbler, to the rescue! With cheese nibblers from McCain, the delicious, nutritious snack that satisfies your sudden hunger as only the taste of real cheese can.
We're having a snack attack!
McCain makes nibblers from cheddar, mozzarella, Monterey, marble cheese, and convenient single snacks and multi-packs. So when you feel a snack attack coming on, grab a McCain Cheese Nibbler. Now available in pizza and nachos.
Bishops opens the fourth quarter with a 26-0 lead over Concordia. 2nd and 8 from the 48. As Bishop looks to make it a perfect 7-0 season. Jim Murphy, the pump and go. It wasn't open, he'll go the other way. And working his way back to the quarterback is David Butler. And Butler has the completion for a first down.
You know, Jim Murphy just continues to impress me the more I see him play because of his poise, and I think that's one of the things that really separates him from a lot of quarterbacks is his ability to realize that, hey, if I throw that, that's picked off. So I'm going to pull it down and I'm going to try and find somebody else. And he goes outside and finds David Butler.
It's a first down inside Concordia territory at the 49-yard line. Murphy has room to run for a moment, but he's brought down by linebacker Pat Gwindon. Jamie, you said it would take a dramatic improvement for Concordia in the passing department, just 13 yards in that third quarter.
Well, they got the 2 in front, but now they need a 0 on the end of that if they were going to be successful. And it's really unfortunate because Concordia, I think, coming into today's game, they felt that they had the quarterback and Andy Peterkin, that they could throw the football. They felt they had the receivers. But it shows you what kind of a defense the Bishop's Gators have put up against that Concordia Stinger offense.
It was a loss of 1, make it 2nd and 11. And Murphy again has to scramble. Gets it away at the last second. It was intended for David Butler, but it falls incomplete.
David Butler, pass incomplete.
So Butler again working his way back to the quarterback, and we are told from the bench anyway that that's the last we'll see of Jim Murphy today, and if it is, he's had a pretty good end to the regular season.
The other thing that's impressive about him is that in the first quarter he went 0 for 5 at the beginning, but he kept pulling the trigger, never lost confidence in his ability. So we take a look at Trevor Lovig, who will be coming in quarterback the next series.
11 men now on the line for Concordia. They'll go after this punt. Lone man back is Demanny Best. And they don't get close to Greg Hiscox, who gets a low spiraling punt away. And getting out of bounds is Demanny Best, brought down by Brian Wardrop. So Concordia gets the ball back, but time is a major factor.
Sorry, pal, my fault. Bad pass. Bad pass.
Well, there weren't many bad passes today by Jim Murphy.
No, not at all. But you know, he knew he was coming out after the last series. So the quarterback, you want to get the ball down there and try and score.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Andy Peterkin remains in the game for Concordia. Flags are down, and so is Peterkin, dropped in the backfield by David Henry. So Henry gets a chance to get into the ball game, and right away he gets a sack. Ian Breck taking the opportunity to get some of his lesser used players into the ball game. And the call from Ron Paluzzi.
Illegal contact, 92 Bishops, first down.
Eric Edwards, the linebacker, was called for illegal contact downfield. The result is an automatic first down for the Concordia Stingers.
Illegal contact called against the Gators. It'll be a first down.
Edwards wants to talk it over. The first down gives Concordia the ball at the 37-yard line with under 12 and a half now to play in the fourth quarter. Peterkin over the middle completes it to Uzo Ubani, and Uzo can now go to the bench with a dirty uniform. He's been running around there in the only white shirt on the football field, and now Uzo's got some mud on him.
You know, what's unfortunate about that is that they've been trying to run the ball. I mean, as a receiver, you also have to block people, so he shouldn't have waited this long to get that jersey dirty.
Not hard to tell who's just come into the ball game here today. Gain of 5, and a 2nd and 5. Blitz is coming. Peterkin gets away and gets it over quickly. And complete there to J.F. Joyal. His first catch of the day, and that'll be a first down for Concordia.
That's a nice
read there of the blitz team.
Yeah, it was a very nice read because Eric Edwards, I thought he timed it actually pretty well. You'll see number 92, the left of your screen. He comes running in, and then J.F. Joyal goes right down the seam, and Joel Kruzic has to come over from a safety position. Peterkin's looking to him right away. Leads him nicely. Good tackle as well by Joel Kruzic.
First and 10 from the 52. Peterkin under pressure. He's a long way back. He got a block and now throws deep, hangs it up. Out of bounds. That was almost in the soccer field.
I'll tell you what, Bishop's brought everybody. They brought Joel Kruzic. They brought their linebackers. They're bringing their secondary people.
Second down.
All Andy Peter can see is just a sea of purple coming at him. He just keeps trying to retreat and make something happen. A pretty good block there as well. And then he just tries to throw it up, but his momentum takes the ball out of bounds.
So it's second and 10.
All right.
4 possessions Concordia will need, and a score on every one of them to get back in this game. Peterkin to Uzo Ubani, and suddenly he's become a threat. He's tackled there by Joel Kruzic and David Grant. He'll be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. But it's a gambling situation naturally for Concordia, trailing 26-0.
Gain of 8. It'll be third down and 2 for the Stingers.
And not liking what he sees, Andy Peterkin calls timeout, so he'll talk it over with his coach, Pat Sheehan. Let's talk about some of the games taking place in the OUAA today. Lots going on today as the playoff drives continue. And Guelph leads Toronto 13-6. 8th ranked Guelph leading Toronto. Laurier leads York 16-0. And Western leads McMaster 17-0. John Leclerc is tying Jamie Bowe's record for completions in a season with 104. Jamie, yet another of your long-standing marks, is teetering on the edge.
Good for John Leclerc. He's a quarterback at Western, and he's had a fine season. He was the preseason All-Canadian quarterback. He's going to have a challenge from Jim Murphy, no question about it, but good for John Leclerc.
That's very big of you, Jamie.
That's what they're there for, right? To be broken.
They'll never forget.
Third 2 Stingers from the Gator 50.
Bone, right? Third and call it 2. Peterkin's got pressure right up the middle right away. He's got a long way to go, but he's there for the first down. Andy Peterkin, elusive as always, as right in his face right away was Pierre Morin. But Andy Peterkin gets the first down. There's an injured Concordia Stinger, Martin Pepin. Or Bishop's Gator, rather.
You know, Pat Sheehan has to be happy about one thing, that he's going to have Andy Peterkin in his program for a number of years, only a first-year player. See the kind of speed that he possesses when he gets outside, a real threat unless you contain him. And he is the leading rusher on the Concordia Stingers.
Yeah?
Now, Jamie, we mentioned those scores a moment ago in the OUAA. Here's the situation. If those scores are to hold today, Laurier would win the division and play host to Toronto, which would finish 4th. Guelph would play Western. What an amazing turn of events that would be. Toronto was undefeated, ranked number 1. We saw them demolish York. And now they may be on the verge of suffering their second straight loss. Martin Pepin, the injured Bishop's Gator. I can take this moment to thank our ace spotter, a reserve for the Bishop's Gators, Chris Fast Eddie Edwards, who I know wants to say hi to his family and friends back in Edmonton, and I want to say hi to his family too. Hi, Glenn and Allison. In fact, Chris's father was an outstanding player here at Bishop's back in the 1950s, and that young lady is 11-year-old Emily Robertson, who's a little shy from the camera. Her dad, Tom Robertson, is in the Bishop's booth spotting today. And there's our stats man, Mike Emmett. You can call him Ed. First and 10 from the 44. And Dio Mastro Domenico gets not much. Maybe a gain of 3 as he's tackled by Pierre Morin.
Mastro Domenico with the carry brought down by number 92, Eric Edwards. Second down, gain of 3.
Under 10 minutes to play now in the fourth quarter. This has been a time-consuming drive by Concordia, and that's not what the Stingers need. They need scores, and they need them now. Trailing 26-0. It's 2nd and 7 from the Bishops' 42-yard line. Offside against Bishops is a free play for Concordia, and Peterkin rolls out. The ball's knocked loose and recovered by Bishops, but the Gators were offside. This will remain Concordia football.
And Andy Peterkin knew that right away. He felt he had a free play, and he was trying to throw the ball deep. You can see what kind of a day he's had. Just look at his uniform. He's been on the ground a lot.
Offside the call against the Gators. First down, Stingers.
That's a good job by Andy Peterkin to change up the snap count so that the defense cannot fire off on you. The top of your screen, top left.
2nd and 3 for the Stingers.
Encroachment.
The Gator 37.
Kent Rao.
So 5 yards will make it 2nd down and about 3, we'll call it. 8:44 to play in the fourth quarter.
You'll ever get to.
Peterkin had trouble handling the ball, gives it off to Dio Mastro Domenico, and he should be close to the first down. He's tackled by David Grant.
Domenico with the carry, tackled by number 29, David Grant.
It'll be close, but you can bet Concordia's going for it if they didn't get it.
It'll be close. Third down, the signal from the referee.
So it came up about a half a yard short, but the clock continues to run, now approaching 8 minutes.
Third down and about half a yard for the Stingers.
Gambling on third down again. Mastro Domenico is stacked up at first. We'll see where they place it, but Eric Edwards and Pierre Morin got in there right away. This will be very close.
And Concordia ran that to the wrong side.
They stopped them short. It's a first down for Bishop.
Good stand by the Bishops Gators, but they were all stacked in on the right-hand side. They were spread out. They had a man over the guard, had a man playing outside eye in the tackle on the left. That's where they should have gone. The center was uncovered, but they went to the right. Bishops, full credit to them.
And we have a new quarterback into the football game for the Bishops Gators, Trevor Loving.
You see number 9 at the top of your screen, Daniel Robillard. He's the other backup quarterback playing wide receiver or slot back right now.
They're getting everybody in now, and why not? Loving will come up throwing right away. Screen pass, backside. Greg Sargent with his first reception of the game, but he dropped the ball.
Trevor Loving.
First pass intended his way, and Sargent couldn't squeeze it.
31, Greg Sargent.
Pretty good stats for the young quarterback. 62% completions, 224 yards. Still looking for his first touchdown.
From McNally High School in Edmonton, Alberta. Now facing 2nd and 10. And he gets it out there complete. Over to David Butler, and Butler will be just shy of the first down. A correction on his high school. He's from St. Albert High School, and I know people in that area will want me to get that right.
Gain of 8 on the play. 3rd and 2.
It'll be 3rd and 2 as Butler came up just short. And plenty of clean uniforms for the Bishops Gators as they get their reserves in, and these dirty fellows will get a rest.
And a well-deserved rest as well. They played very well defensively today.
Let's go, boys.
Greg Hiscox is back to punt. High snap. Concordia was coming after it again. Big driving punt taken by Rob Schwartz back in his own 25. Schwartz dances outside looking for a block, and he's tripped up. Great defensive play made there by Danny Bohink, a native of Lennoxville, and who knows where that fella's from, but Bohink is from this area, and he made the tackle. Stay tuned following this game for CFL action. The game of the week features Edmonton and Calgary. Live from McMahon Stadium, it'll be the Eskimos and Stampeders, John Wells, Leif Pedersen, and Peter Watts. Now, this game originally was to start at 9:30 Eastern, but Stampeder owner Larry Rickman, not desiring to compete with the World Series, has moved it up to an afternoon start. And it's coming up next. First and 10 from the 36 for Andy Peterkin in the offense, and Peterkin again has pressure. He's running all the way, and he's finally forced out of bounds there by Paul Connery. And David Henry was also over there to help out.
And you know, this is incredible because this is run all the way, I think, with Andy Peterkin. And they don't do anything special to try and get him outside. He just outruns people. One thing you want to do with a quarterback like Andy Peterkin, you want to force him to run inside. But he's been managing to get outside. Bishops right now are not doing a great job containing him. And I tell you what, he's got pretty good wheels on him, Gord. He's faster than I think that most people think he is.
He got 7. 2nd and 3.
Watch the wheel, watch the hook and go.
Peterkin over the middle looking for Uzo Ubani, and Ubani wasn't able to sell out for that ball. Back there on the coverage with J.P. Schwinn.
Intercepted by number 35, J.P. Schwinn. 3rd down, 3 to go.
Uzo might have had that.
Yeah, I think he saw the defensive back coming and just decided to let the ball go by and keep that uniform clean.
Well, the laundry guy will appreciate it anyway. So it's 3rd and 3. And again, they'll go gamble. Peterkin to throw, and it's incomplete. He was looking over there for Eric McClellan. It's a turnover, and the Gators will get the ball back with 5:17 to play, to the delight of the hometown crowd. It's a school of just 1,600 students, approaching 1,700 in enrollment. So if you look at a roster of 60 players, about 1 in every 25 students on this campus is on the football team. See the 3rd-string quarterback in the game. That's Daniel Robillard, and Robillard gets it complete out there. He was looking over there for number 88, Jonas Raymond, and Raymond comes up with another clutch catch, so we get the 3rd stringer in the ball game now, Jamie.
Well, Ian Breck is showing that he's got some quality quarterbacks in this program. We talked about Jim Murphy taking over from Silvio Martel, then Trevor Lovig, and now Daniel Robillard, who played wide receiver in the last series, now getting his chance at quarterback. Again, pretty good numbers for the young quarterback, and throws a nice pass out here. Just delivers it and lets Jonas Raymond run underneath it.
And Daniel Robillard's from this area, played at the University of Sherbrooke last season. And Robillard keeps it. He'll get that uniform nice and messy to start out.
Daniel Robillard played with the Sherbrooke Blitz, the junior team in the Eastern Township area. Now you look at Ian Breck right now, you wouldn't know that this man has a 26-0 lead. A little bit of a smile there.
A smirk.
Here we go, fellas. 1st down. 1st down.
2nd and 7. It's a draw play. Willie Ellman gets the carry, but he stopped well short of the 1st down.
Number 56, Gaston Thibodeau with the tackle. It'll be 3rd down.
And some interesting moves being made by Ian Breck. He had his 2nd-string quarterback, Trevor Lovig, playing wide receiver on that play. And now Greg Hiscox checks into the game. He'll try a field goal from about the 36-yard line. 2 for 2 today, both from 39 yards.
And the last time they attempted this, Luke Palan came right up the middle and blocked it.
They almost got it there. It's long enough, but it's wide. And bringing it out is Rob Schwartz at the 7-yard line. So they'll have 103 yards to go as Pierre Morin forced him out of bounds.
Number 44, Brian Wardrop making the tackle for the Gators.
And it's 3 minutes and 9 seconds to the end of the Concordia season. As Peterkin checks into the ball game. Andy Peterkin was actually this team's best wide receiver last year. And he's had a couple of catches this season, but he's gone the distance at quarterback today. And his team has yet to put a point on the board.
They're clean. They're nice. Hey, Jackson Mack, Vancouver, how's it going?
Joey Sabo.
Under 3 minutes to play now, 1st and 10 from the 19. And a high floater intended for Jason Raymond. Eric McClellan checked that, and that is out of bounds.
Number 1, Tom Europe over there for good measure.
Mom must have asked her, eh? Say hi to Mom. Say hi to Mom. Even though she's in the crowd, say hi to Mom. Mom's upstairs. Number 1, Mom.
Kai Bjorn, right offensive tackle.
It's a 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line for Concordia. 2.5 minutes to play now in the 4th quarter. And he's sacked. Andy Peterkin is dropped by Jim Georgitsos.
Number 14, Andy Peterkin. 3rd down.
So a sack for Georgitsos and a huge loss for Concordia.
And you know, Gory, coming into this game, Bishop's had 19 interceptions. You know, that interception ratio is correlated with the number of sacks. They also had 19 sacks. So it shows you that they also get to the quarterback quite a few times.
Following the tradition of some great Bishop's linebackers, Leroy Blue might have been the best, now playing for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah, he was a great player to watch in college as well in the pros. And
Number 1, Paul Geary in the punt for the Stingers.
And so Paul Geary will come into punt. Not really enough. The clock running at 2:20.
That deserves to be a
Geary's high wobbling punt is taken over there by Joel Kruzic. Flag is down right away, and Kruzic is forced out of bounds. 26-0 Bishop's lead as Ian Breck's team is now looking at an undefeated regular season.
Lucien Bouchard is leader of the separatist Bloc Québécois. Jacques Parizeau is leader of the Separatist Parti Québécois. They are dedicated to the breakup of Canada. The reason they are smiling is that they are voting no on October 26th, and they think you will too. But there are others counting on your vote as well. On Monday, how you vote will determine whose smiles are more important to you.
Number 4, Trevor Loving, back in quarterback for the Gators.
The Bishop's Gators are 1 minute and 59 seconds away from a 7-0 regular season. The Gators will open the playoffs here next week. Should they win that game, they will host the Ontario-Quebec Conference Championship game here in 2 weeks. Home field advantage. But what kind of shape will that field be in? Trevor Loving is back in at quarterback. The second stringer is there. But Danny Robillard, the third string quarterback, is playing wide receiver. Loving to throw, completes it over there for Jonas Raymond, and Raymond is dragged down right away. As over there on the stop was Luke Pellin, the linebacker.
Number 18, Gary Locke with the tackle, gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
It was a gain of about 4, make it 2nd and 6.
Hey, he's all yours, buddy. He's scared. He's scared, Tommy. Abel.
Jason Raymond was way offside as the carry goes to Greg Sargent. A good game, but it's coming back.
Number 31, Greg Sargent with the carry, flags down.
Hey, did you see the block there by number 89?
Here, Bruce.
Val Amigo in a fullback. He is an inside receiver, 6'5", 240, but lined him in the fullback spot.
Okay, procedure number 9, Bishop. Second now repeated.
Well, they called it on Dan Robillard, but
2nd and 11 for the game.
89, first back in the eye, he even slows down, but look at this block right in there, boom, on Danny Lavalley.
It's like a blocking sled.
I mean, he's taking a lot with him.
It's 2nd and 11 from the shotgun. Lovick heaves it. He was looking over there for Tom Hart, but the pass goes incomplete.
Looking for Tom Hart.
And then at the end of that play, Spiros Faradouris nailed Tom Hart. I mean, well after the play. That's almost certain to be a first down, and now there's some jawing between the two benches. And we may have an ejection from the game of Spiros Faradouris, who is one of the most vocal of the Concordia Stingers.
It's got no place in university football. And you need to throw flags. That's the kind of kid you got to control. I would appreciate it if you would do something about that. Come on, everybody saw it, including you guys. Come on.
Got to agree with Ian Breck there.
No question about it. There is no room for that in college football. And when a player's down, he's down. There's no need to do any extracurricular activity.
There was no flag on the play, so it'll be a punt for Greg Hiscox. Boy, we saw a bench-clearing melee last week in Halifax between St. Mary's and Mount Allison. We almost had one there. But Ian Breck brings up the good point. If you want to stop that stuff, it has to be called. Hiscox punt. Taken at the goal line by Rob Schwartz. And Schwartz is not going to get very far. In fact, will they call him down at the 1?
Hiscox kick 44 yards, taken by
He's
Schwartz
down at the 1. And here's Spiros Faradouris and what he did.
17, Joel Kruzich. 44, Brian Wardrop.
Tom Hart is number 20 working on it.
It'll be 1st and 111 for the Stingers.
And after the play is what they were talking about. Well, 109 yards to go, 1:12 on the clock.
And you know, when I watched Andy Peterkin on the sideline, and when he was going out onto the field, you know, he was just shaking his head like, how could I start in any worse spot?
If you're John Elway, you got a shot. And the first pass goes incomplete, intended for Uzo Ubani.
Pass incomplete, looking for number 25, Uzo Ubani. 28, Marty
1:08 now to play in the fourth quarter. Jamie, we've seen 7 games this year, and we've seen a lot of the top-ranked teams in the country. Who's the best you've seen so far?
I tell you, that's really tough to say because it's, you know, you're comparing conferences and it's hard to determine the level of strength in these conferences. I've been impressed by a number of teams. Bishops, of course, St. Mary's, BC when we saw them play Saskatchewan out there a few weeks ago.
Give goes inside to Dio Mastrodomenico. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this Bishops team's the best we've seen this year.
Of course you're going to say that because you picked them to win the Vanier Cup.
But UBC was very impressive as well.
And Toronto, I think. We saw Toronto. They seem to be struggling right now, losing to Western, and of course, earlier today they were behind the Guelph Griffins.
And there's an injured Bishops Gator down on the play. It's linebacker Pierre Morin, number 42.
And you know, there are some teams that we haven't seen that seem to be gaining momentum right now. The Queens Golden Gales seem to be one. Got off to a slow start at the beginning of the season.
How about the Calgary Dinosaurs? Demolished Saskatchewan last night.
And there's another team, and you know, they thought their season was over when they lost their quarterback, John Kalin.
Fans, on behalf of the coaching staff, we'd like to make a request that you'll refrain from taunting the visiting players. Thank you.
And Morin had somebody roll over his leg, and that's what they're taking a look at now. 1:05 to play here in the fourth quarter. The Bishops Gators have already clinched the conference. An undefeated season is what they desire.
Number 42, Pierre Morin, the shaken up Gator on the play.
Team was the last team to go undefeated and win the Vanier Cup.
I would say the UBC Thunderbirds in 1982.
By goodness, I think you're right.
They had a great team that year. Who did they beat in the 82 Vanier Cup? That's the next question. No, let me rephrase that. Who did they destroy in the Vanier Cup?
Oh, destroy. Huh? I might say the McGill Redmond. Tom Europe fields this punt at the 25-yard line, now winding his way towards the goal line. Europe is tripped up at the 10. Who was it?
It was the Western Mustangs.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Now, Gord, you were talking about Tom Europe earlier, that to increase his value to the professional ranks, he would have to be a great punt returner. Well, he's certainly demonstrating that on this punt.
Return of 18 on the play. First and
Shows some pretty good moves, wants to go inside, then cuts it back outside again.
He took that ball 18 yards. It's 1st and 10 from the 13. Danny Robillard is back in at quarterback, and I wonder if they'll go for the end zone. They are. Robillard throws. Out of bounds. Tom Hart was out of bounds.
20, Tom Hart.
And the official right on the spot to make the call. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 13.
Semi-roll, and then he decides to take it outside when he gets around the corner. Luke Palan barreling down on him. Lays the ball out for Tom Hart. Good call. He had his foot on the line.
You only need one foot in Canadian football, but Tom Hart's was out of bounds. Very tough to tell from that angle. Robillard straight ahead. Gets down to about the 7. As the clock stops at 36 seconds now.
56, Gaston Thibodeau.
And the crowd wants them to go for it.
Well, they're certainly not going to kick a field goal here. I think they are going to go for it.
3rd down, 5 yards to go.
3rd and 5. They're gambling in a game where they lead 26-0. That guy with the orange sleeves is our student announcer, Bill Starr, who's lost his objectivity here in the fourth quarter. And cheering for Bishops, 20 seconds and counting.
20 seconds. 4.
Robillard's under pressure and dropped. Well, Concordia can take some solace from that. Coming up with the sack on the halfback blitz was Patrick McCullough, so they'll turn the Gators away. There are 10 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. And now there's some more pushing and shoving going on at midfield, but quickly the two sides are separated.
And you know, the Concordia Stingers are giving the ball to Gaston Thibodeau. This is his last game as a college football player. He has played 5 years and has had a great year. He will probably be named All-Star again this year, making it 3 years in a row.
Seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Concordia has the ball back. And they get some timing difficulties sorted out, and Andy Peterkin and the crew will run out the clock. Last score we had McGill leading Carleton 17-0. If that score holds, and it almost certainly will, Concordia's season will end right here. They'll give it off to Dio Mastro Domenico. With the clock at 5 seconds, now 4, there will be one more play in the football game, and the Bishops Gators will have completed a 7-0 season.
But you know what, Gord? Next week that means absolutely nothing because everybody starts the same. It's a new season.
And so many people here are anticipating a Bishops, Queens, Ontario, Quebec final. What a collision of superpowers that would be. No time on the clock. They give off to Dio Mastro Domenico, and that's the football game. The Bishop's Gators win it by a final score of 26-0. The Gators finish the regular season at 7-0, and the Gators would have to be considered front runners for the Vanier Cup, a game to which they have never been. 26-0 the final score. The regular season is over for Bishop. The season is over for Concordia. We'll be back with more from Lennoxville in just a moment.
Wait! I'm having a snack attack!
Captain Nibbler, to the rescue! With cheese nibblers from McCain, the delicious, nutritious snack that satisfies your sudden hunger as only the taste of real cheese can.
We're having a snack attack.
McCain makes nibblers from cheddar, mozzarella, Montreal marble cheese, and convenient single snacks and multi-packs. So when you feel a snack attack coming on, grab a McCain cheese nibbler. Now available in pizza and nachos.
Rocket Fuel.
Play Rocket Fuel Touchdown, and you could win up to $25,000.
Imagine visiting yourself in the future.
Wow, look who's here. I know you. Sure do. I'm you 25 years later. What am I doing here? We spend our winters here. Did we win the lottery? No lottery. Freedom 55.
Only your London Life representative offers Freedom 55. Protection today, plus a financial plan that works, so one day you won't have to.
And when did we start driving convertibles? About the same time we started surfing. Surfing?
My hair had so many split ends, I gave it 5 minutes to live. Hard to believe with hair that now looks this healthy and shiny. I got it with Pantene Pro V Treatment Conditioner. Its vitamin-rich formula contains provitamin B5 that deeply penetrates your hair, from root to tip, improving it, making it healthier looking, and noticeably shinier.
Pantene Pro V Conditioner makes your hair look so healthy it shines.
Try it. I use it every day.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you this afternoon by Sony.
Scores in the second quarter with Bishop's leading 12-0. Andy Peterkin drops back to throw the pass here. Flushed out of the pocket. Peterkin throws it down the field, but is picked off by number 8, Matt Legg. This set up the touchdown that Jim Murphy scored moments later to put the game out of reach for the Bishop's Gators.
A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of Canadian coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and Sony. Sony Trinitron. It's just like being there. 26-0 the final score for Bishops over Concordia. Back with more from Lennoxville in just a moment.
Midas will look at your brakes 49 different ways, free. Then we'll give you a guaranteed estimate and a certified brake specialist to fix them right. The free 49-point brake inspection. 49 reasons to trust your brakes to Midas.
Don Cherry's Grapevine, you're gonna love it.
Rolly Melanson hits the Grapevine, Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern. Molson, Don Cherry's Grapevine.
Right here on TSN.
Hi, everyone. I'm John Wells along with Leif Patterson. We're here at McMahon Stadium for a matinee battle between the Eskimos and the Stampeders. It was originally scheduled for a night game tonight, but moved ahead so everyone gets an opportunity to watch World Series baseball later today.
Well, it's a great doubleheader afternoon on TSN. You have the great football game at Lennoxville that you're watching right now, and of course, right after the completion of that, we will be here at McMahon Stadium with should be a truly great matchup between Edmonton and Calgary. Calgary trying to clinch first place in the West. And, of course, Edmonton trying to keep their first-place playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, it'll be two outstanding offenses again here this afternoon. Tracy Ham versus Doug Flutie, season series 1-1. Any feeling on what might happen today?
Well, there's no question Calgary's going to throw the football. They got 3 receivers that will be over 1,000 yards this year. Edmonton likes to pound away in the ground, and as usual, it's a matchup that every fan in Canada will like to watch. And the sports fans in Canada are the winners today. They get the best of both worlds. A great game here, and then they get to watch the Blue Jays maybe wrap it up tonight.
So right after CIAU action from Lennoxville this afternoon, we'll bring you to McMahon Stadium in Calgary for the Eskimos and the Stampeders, the final showdown in the Battle of Alberta. Let's send you back to Gord Miller and Jamie Bone.
Thank you, John. Look forward to seeing your football game coming up in a few moments. Here today, Bishops defeated Concordia 26-0, so the Gators complete their season at 7-0, and the man of the moment is Jim Murphy, the quarterback for the Bishops Gators. 7-0 is a pretty nice mark and a pretty nice way to do it today.
Oh, gee, it's great. I mean, it's the first time we're 7-0 and since I've been here, and that's a great feeling. But I got to tell you, those 7-0 doesn't mean anything right now. It's from here on that counts, and we're looking forward to getting into the playoff situations. And I think the team's geared up. I think we showed it today. I mean, the conditions, we handled that, and we took things pretty nicely today.
Now, Jim, what was going on in the first quarter? You guys are a passing football team, but you guys came out and surprised people by running the football.
Well, given the conditions, we had to. I think it was tough to get the cuts on the receivers. They were having a tough time getting rid of the DB, so we tried to establish the run. A lot of people don't think we can. I think today we showed a bit. I mean, we can. We're a grind 'em team, and if we have to, we will.
Jimmy, this football team scored 3 points in the first quarter, then exploded in the second. What was the key to
that? That's a good question. I have no idea. I think we just got it together in the second quarter. In the first quarter, we were just, that short away from connecting. In the second quarter, we had time to throw. We had guys getting open, and it's an easy game from there on in.
I talked to Pat Sheehan before the game. He said he was going to throw a multitude of looks on defense at you to try to confuse you. Did it confuse you at all?
It's no,
that's
actually,
nice. I like that.
Who was that?
it's my brother. No, they pretty much showed us the same thing. They went with a 60 DB. They threw in 7 deep backs again. We saw what we practiced for all week, and that helped. They didn't throw anything new today, and it didn't stun us at all.
Jimmy, this team is a passing-oriented offense. Is there any concern on your part? We talked about over the course of the telecast about weather like this in the playoffs.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like I said, we have no qualms about going to the running game. If we have to, we will, and I think we'll beat teams that way.
All right, you scored a touchdown today, and you threw for a couple more. Here's a look at one of your scores today. This is your running touchdown. Tell us about it.
Well, that's a plunge up to the fullback. We got an option. We were actually going to run the ball. I mean, we were trying to get to the fullback, but he left a little quick, but we still have that option to come off and go outside, and that's what we did here.
All right, Jim, congratulations, our thanks, and Gio will donate $500 to his school, Bishops University. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Jim Murphy, our Gio player of the game, Bishops 26, Concordia nothing. We'll be back with more from Lennoxville in just a moment on TSN.
Check the map.
Cancel that order, guys.
Oh, right. Yeah. Let's see. You want a Coke? No, make it a Pepsi. Well, what's the diff? You said that.
The difference is one tastes better.
This one.
You chose Pepsi.
The majority of soft drink users tested prefer the taste of Pepsi over Coke Classic.
You want sausage or pepperoni?
What's the diff?
Getting to know. Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice, like the import-inspired Geo Metro, Geo Storm, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. Getting to know.
Bishops finishes the season at 7-0 as the Gators shut out the Concordia Stingers. Ian Breck, the head coach of Bishops, we were listening in on your sidelines in the second quarter. You said tear their heart out, which your team certainly did today.
Interesting expression, there's no doubt. Well, our feeling was that if we were going to play well, we had to play aggressively. And when we got ourselves in a position where we could put some people away, we didn't want to back off. We didn't want to falter. We wanted to be even more aggressive, put the ball in the end zone, and really put it out of reach. And I guess that's what I meant when I said tear their hearts out.
Were you concerned in the first quarter? It was only 3-0. You seemed to be on the field, to and off quite a bit.
No, I think Jim explained it well. We were doing a number of different things. We were getting some good reads. Our protection was good. Jim was setting up well. There was good separation. It was just a matter we just weren't completing the passes. It was, I think, a matter of being patient and knowing if we kept going with things that eventually things would start to work. And they certainly did. I think that
we're certainly better when we run our lightning offense. That's the no-huddle look, and we get a chance to, we know what we're doing, we stress the defense, and our kids get a higher level of confidence each time we snap the ball, and that's when things really start to turn around, I think, for us.
Ian, you talked about maybe a turning point for this team's season was a game earlier in the year when you didn't feel you'd performed as well as you could have. You won it anyway. Now you look forward to a playoff game, which we think will be against Ottawa. McGill is leading right now, so it looks like you'll play the Ottawa GGs. How do you look ahead to that game?
Well, Ottawa played us about as tough as anybody has all year. They've got a great talent level on their team. Unfortunately, their first quarterback got hurt, and who knows what they're going to be like after that. But other than the quarterback position, I think they're very sound. They played well down here, and I'm sure they're going to have some confidence. Our kids are just going to have to keep improving through the course of our preparation and go into the game with a really positive attitude and, again, an aggressive attitude.
Ian, I think when most people think of Bishop's University, they always think of offense and especially quarterbacks. But what about your defense? I think they have to be one of the best units we've seen all season long.
They are probably the best kept secret in the CIU this year. There's no question our defense has won football games for us. Last week against McGill, they scored twice. They scored really the go-ahead touchdown, and they scored the insurance touchdown. They gave us great field position today. They've done that week after week, and I hope somebody will recognize some names toward the end of the season, but regardless, if they just keep playing that way, we're going to have a great chance in every game we're in.
Ian Breck, our thanks to you, and quick question, is this the year Bishops gets to the big one?
This is the year that we get to play Ottawa U in the first round of the playoffs, and we'll take it from there, 1 week at a time, Gord.
All right, Ian, thanks very much, and congratulations. Ian Breck, the head coach of the Bishops Gators, who finished their regular season undefeated at 7-0, and there's lots to talk about today. 26-0 was the score here at Coulter Field. We told you the score between McGill and Carleton. It is now 20-0 in favor of McGill. That score is late in the fourth quarter. So as it stands right now, it would be McGill finishing third. So it would be Ottawa taking on Bishops, and then McGill would play Queens. And the winners of those two games would advance to the OQ final, which will be somewhere in 2 weeks, and Bishops would certainly like it to be here. But the Gators finished 7-0, and here's the standings as they stand right now as the season winds down in the OQ. And Jamie, we talked about it earlier. How good is Bishops?
Well, I think they're a pretty good football team, not only offensively. We saw that today, and we saw the kind of offense that Jim Murphy runs, but defensively is what's impressed me the most about them. I think everybody thinks of Bishops, quarterbacks, receivers, inside receivers, all that, but boy, I'll tell you what, their defense, they move so well laterally. They've got great linebackers in Dolarue, they've got Eric Edwards, and of course, Wardrop inside. I mean, this team is for real.
And one thing we should point out, we talked about how nasty the weather can be here, but should Bishops win its next two games, it's on to Skydome for the next two, and those, of course, are under the dome under perfect conditions.
And, you know, Ian Breck didn't want to talk about this today. He talked to us in confidence earlier about that. He only wants his team thinking next week about the University of Ottawa. But he said, hey, we got to win 2 more football games, and we're under the dome. And that's when this kind of passing game really works well. They don't have to worry about the weather, the wind, the rain, any of those kind of elements, and they'll be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's a dog's life, and next week we're in Ontario for an OUAA semifinal. We don't know where it's going to be yet, but it'll be 2 o'clock Eastern time as the postseason begins on the CIAU here on TSN. Coming up next, it's the CFL. The Eskimos and Stampeders live from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. John Wells, Peter Watson, Leif Pedersen are on deck. The CIAU on TSN is brought to you in part by Geo. Get to know Geo at a Chevrolet Geo dealer near you. And by Pepsi. Gotta have it. For all of us at TSN, I'm Gord Miller. So long from Lennoxville, Quebec.
Up, off his knees, on to first, in time.
The action, the drama, the excitement. Get it all, the big picture. Got a duel for top spot in the West between the Eskimos and the Stampeders. Tonight, 4 p.m. Eastern, CFL Excitement on Real TV, TSN.
You're watching TSN, the Sports Network, your #1 source for sport news. Welcome to the foothills of the Rockies, where the tranquility of Calgary is about to be broken. Today, we have 2 of the CFL's most electrifying quarterbacks. Outstanding receivers like Alan Pitts, Gizmo Williams, David Sapunjas, Jim Sandusky, Derek Crawford, and Craig Ellis. These are the #1 and 2 ranked offenses in the CFL. It's the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Eskimos in a matinee showdown. The CFL Game of the Week. Brought to you by Pepsi. Gotta have it. It's only a cool day in the sense that it was supposed to be 20 degrees Celsius today. It is half of that. The wind gusting up to 33 kilometers an hour out of the north. Other than that, a glorious late fall afternoon for the Eskimos and the Calgary Stampeders. And a warm welcome to you, everybody. Welcome to McMahon Stadium. I'm Peter Watts. A big game, as they all are at this time of the season. A big game, as they all are, between these 2 teams. The Calgary Stampeders, with a victory, can clinch first place in the West and give themselves a couple of weeks to rest the bumps and bruises before hosting the Western Final. However, if the Edmonton Eskimos can win, they can still clinch first, possibly, and they would take an almost stranglehold possession of second place and the right to host the Western game. We'll see what happens in the next 2.5 hours. The Stampeders guaranteed to have their 4th straight year with +10 wins. That's a club record in the 46-year history of this team. A good football game, a great football game, in fact. And to talk a little bit about it, here are the 2 gentlemen who'll describe the action for you today, John Wells and Leif Pedersen.
Right you are, Peter. 2 great offenses on the field at McMahon Stadium here this afternoon. The Stampeders win with the pass. Doug Flutie averaging over 350 yards per game. He's got great receivers, and in fact has a chance to get 4 receivers over 1,000 yards for the first time in CFL history.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous passing story for their team this year. There you see the numbers. Alan Pitts, of course, leading the league in receptions and in receiving yardage. David Sapunjas, a career year for him. Carl Bland will definitely hit 1,000 yards in the last 3 games, and an outside chance for Derek Crawford. So when you look at this team, pretty scary team to defense, balance all the way across the line. Tough to play against.
The Eskimos do like to run, and they showed great ball control offense with over 225 yards here on Labor Day in a big win for the Eskimos.
Well, you know, and that's what Calgary's really worried about, and for the simple reason, it really takes a physical pounding on your defense to have a team run it down your throat. It's demoralizing, and I guess the worst thing is that it keeps Doug Flutie off the field. So, you know, if I'm Bill Diedrich, the offensive coordinator for Edmonton, I say, hey, they're expecting us to come out and pound it at them today. I'm going to start with play action pass, cross them up, stay 1 step ahead of Calgary.
All right, we'll see if the Eskimos